Hello everybody, this is toysareruss, and for this new figure unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the Lucky Cat Extreme Trans ET01 MEE figure, which for those of you who collect Transformers like myself, this is the Bumblebee movie Bumblebee figure. And the reason why they can't call it that is because Lucky Cat is not licensed by Takara, so they can't use the proper name. Right, this is the packaging he comes in, which is really quite nice, to be honest. It wasn't sealed at all though, it's just the box like this, and inside the box comes this little clamshell. Now he does come packaged in robot mode, but for the video I've decided to have a look at the alternate mode first. He comes with two blade accessories on the forearms, his cannon, a different head, and indeed two additional hands. Now unfortunately with this guy, because I've already got him in robot mode, I'm going to have a little bit of a moan straight away. Number one is the instructions once again come like this, so there's no actual proper instructions, there's just a video for you to watch somebody transform it, so it doesn't really tell you what to look out for, etc. And this, do you know what, I'm going to be honest straight away, it's such a shame that the transformation process is really hard. And I'm also going to be super honest, I did do the first part of the video in robot mode, but I deleted it by mistake, and the first part of the video, which you'll see again in a second, is now going to be the end because I need to do it again in robot mode. I've got nothing but praise for this figure, nothing but praise at all. The robot mode is sensational, the alternate mode is, as you can see, it is okay. I've looked at other pictures to make sure that I'm getting the transformation process properly. I completely have, but it's just way too gappy, and in all honesty, way too fiddly. A figure this size should not take as long as it took me to transform, and that's my big bugbear that I'm finding at the moment with third-party figures. This is an original Generation 1 Bumblebee, so to give you an idea, it's roughly the same size. I mean, it's a little bit longer, but obviously it's not as thick and as chunky, so it is really small. So here is a drag strip, which is a standard deluxe figure, which you can see really does put this into perspective, that it is 1, 2, 3, it's at least, you know, what was that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. This is a very small figure as well, and it is tiny compared to that. In fact, I've got a Micromaster figure there. It is the same size as your Earthrise Micromasters, just a little bit bigger in height, and as you can see though, by all the panels and everything, it is far more intricate. It's not too bad. I cannot imagine anybody who's going to be purchasing this is going to be displaying this in the alternate mode, unfortunately though, just because again it looks too gappy, there's lots of holes. I think what they've done, in all honesty, is just tried to be too clever with it, whereas they just didn't need to. And it is really interesting, and it is a bit of a shame because it is, to my knowledge, the first legend scale Bumblebee movie figure. Obviously we've had Bumblebee figures, but they're mainly based on Generation 1. This, as you can see, is the movie version. So I don't think there's much more to say about this particular mode. You can see how some of the things are tucked all underneath. We are going to come back in the second half where you'll get to see just how good this figure is, and I suppose how most people are going to be displaying him in the robot mode, which is absolutely fantastic. Okay, we're back in robot mode, and as you can see, he is looking stunning. Quick apologies for no transformation process on this video. Main reason is because it just simply takes too long. I want to keep the main length of the video down, but I will be uploading a tutorial separately just to show you, I suppose, A, how difficult it is, and B, to hope it'll help you out when you get your own figure. But this is where this figure comes into its own in the robot mode. It's just spectacular. It really is. So I know the first part of the video was really quite negative towards him, but this is where you'll see, I suppose, just how good he is. And just as, I suppose, for a reference, and I know there's 40 years worth of engineering between these two, but that's what I want to show you. I want to show you the improvements, and indeed, I suppose, the articulation. It's crazy. That is the original Generation 1 Bumblebee, which is, of course, just that little bit bigger. This guy, the detail on him is nuts. So the head sculpt, hopefully you can just about make out there. Lovely blue on the eyes. There's loads of detail, even on the mask. The head will go all the way around. It doesn't really look up and down because we can replace it. I'll show you that in a second. The shoulders are on ball and sockets, and they can move all the way around, right up out of the way as well. So they can come right up like so. They can spin. I think I've just popped that out, in honesty. I might have done. This is the other negative thing, the transformation, but I'll talk about that in a second. You can spin this around just under the shoulder. There's a double Bicep Flexion, which if I can just show you there, you can see it'll fold back on itself. So the articulation on this is nuts. The fists again have got full wrist swivel because again you can replace them. There is even a waist swivel. It is a little bit hindered by the backpack, but there is a waist swivel. There is ball and socket joints on the hips, so they will kick as far forward as they can before they get restricted, and back. They'll go out a little bit as well. There's a knee bend, there's an ankle tilt and rock. You can tilt this all the way over. I mean, the articulation on it is insane. And I'm sure you'll agree, the detail with the headlights of the front of the car, this was all tucked up underneath. You couldn't even see this. This was all tucked up under the hood of the car when it was in the robot mode, because look, there's the front, sorry, when it was in the alternate mode. So it is quite clever. And you know what, I'm going to sort of change my opinion sort of midway through this video, and I suppose in a way I always like to be honest, because I've been forced to do the transformation process again because I deleted the video by accident. It's made me appreciate it a little more. It wasn't so hard going back, but it is, I think it's over fiddly for fiddly's sake, and you can see that in the alternate mode with how many panels there are. Right, let's show you again why this figure is so good. So we can take off the head, as simple as that. We can then take the new one and let's turn him into battle mode Bumblebee, shall we say. There's his battle mask. Again, this allows you a little bit of looking up and down, but not too much. This one should, but you can see it's really stiff, so maybe it was just particularly stiff. Right, this is, again, it's really easy to locate and attach all of these parts to him. There we go, let's just tip them out. So let's go with the blades at first. There's a cutout there on the side of his forearm. Let's pop that in. You can keep the fists in as well, it's absolutely fine. Here's the other one. This will just attach ever so easily into there. Now the only thing this is, again, to be aware of, because it is so small, people with bigger hands are going to struggle with this. I'm quite fortunate my hands aren't the hugest, but again, this is the problem with some of the small figures. They are tiny. We've also got some open and closed hands if you want to attach these just pop out via ball and socket. That's the wrong one. Again, I'm trying to give you an idea, I suppose, of just how small this is. Funnily enough, I've got a Titan Master here, and I know these are tiny, but this is just, as I say, you've seen Bumblebee, but for those of you who collect newer figures, it's not much bigger than a Prime Master. It's absolutely tiny, so it's fiddly but fun at the same time. To give you, again, another idea, other third-party figures, there is a Doctor Wu. It is smaller than Doctor Wu. It is way smaller than New Age, from Magic Square, Earthspark figures. It is absolutely tiny. Iron Factory figures compared to all of these. So let me move these all out of the way. Let's just show you a few other things that we can change on him, and hopefully, as I say, you're getting a complete and honest reflection of what I think of this figure. Let's take these blades off. We can keep them on. We can also put the arm cannon on. Again, I don't know if you have to take you need the fist for the arm cannon, and you'll see what I mean by that is it won't fit with the open hand. This needs to just slots. You can take the hands off completely if you wanted to, but with the arm cannon it will fit in no problem. These will then fire, and as I say, for this particular size, it's very detailed. I'm going to go back to the standard look though, to be honest. I think I just prefer him looking all normal. He doesn't need to be all powered up, which it is as simple as that, just attaching these via all of these ports. Let me take this out. Oh, it's just got stuck, so all I've got to do is just apply a little bit of extra force. Didn't damage it, it just came off, no problem. And as you can see, the shoulder joint has moved up. Just one other quick thing, you can adjust these as wings, turn them out, lift them up, however you want to display it. There's quite a bit of, I suppose, range of motion and, you know, choice of how you want to do it. Same with the legs. The legs cover up pretty good. But that is definitely it. As I say, for a small figure, very intricate displays, amazingly in robot mode. Slight negative will be, as I say again, even though I've appreciated it a little more when I did it again, I still think the transformation process is overly complicated for what it is. However, if you're going to be buying this just to be displaying it in robot mode, there is no denying how good it looks, and indeed it is way better than what the alternate mode looks like. Very quickly, just a few other comparisons of some mainline figures. Much smaller than a deluxe, way smaller than a deluxe, and another generation 1 figure there, way smaller than them. But there you go. Hopefully I've done this figure some justice, whether it's good or whether it's bad. I want you to let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think sometimes that the transformation processes, we've been discussing this because I've done X-Trans bots recently, do you think some of them are overly complicated unnecessarily, especially when you get things like this, which don't really help? Or do you think that people actually like that? Let me know in the comments what you think, guys. This is Lucky Cat Bumblebee. You can get this from Show Z, and I'm going to leave a direct link in the description. Take care.